Sorry.
No,
I didn't.
I'm the dumbass who was like, oh, okay, I'll just put the Twitch link in there. That's fine.
We are a well-salted machine.
Yes. Please work. Ah, yes, there you are.
It's a me.
It's me, Max. Hey, I'm gonna move myself over a little bit. Okay. Yay. Okay. Things are good now.
That didn't take as long as I thought it would.
No, it's fine. I've had more random things happen during a collab. It's fine.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes. There's a reason why I say we have wild magic things happening. So anyway, everyone, this is my friend Max. Max, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Grandpa Max Anger. Got the nickname in this very chat. A couple of weeks ago, almost a month maybe. And I am primarily an accessibility advocate for more options in games. That is my big thing. I talk to devs, I get them to add more options to their games so that we disabled folk can have an easier time playing it. Not an easier time beating it. We just want to get to the same starting line. We don't want help getting to the same finish line. And a lot of my peers and I do not agree on that point. A lot of my peers just want to see the game. They do not want the challenge, but a few of us are gamers first rather than, disabled first. So I've had quite a few little accomplishments in my time. Nothing big, nothing you'd have heard of. But there's this game called Cerebellum Ultimate. I got footstep sounds added so blind people can play it. There's this game called The Dungeon Beneath. I got them to add an alternate mouse cursor so that visually impaired people can see the damn mouse cursor to play the game. And, other things like that, font stuff, UI stuff. I focus on visual things because I'm legally blind, but I'm trying to hit all the points. And as a result of doing it for almost 10 years now, I have got a massive backlog of games that I can recommend to people.
I think that's amazing, and I honestly think that we need to have more visibility and more accessibility for gaming, period, because I think there's a lot of people who just don't understand that disabled people play games, that we enjoy playing them, that yes, we might not play as well all the time as some people do. We might play differently, but we still enjoy getting to play them.
Yeah, it's you had brought it up yesterday on the Picardo stream. It's the same thing with the OnlyFans and the sex stuff. We are people before we are disabled people. We still have the same desires, the same enjoyments, all that shit. I'm still the same asshole I'd be if I wasn't disabled. It's just I happen to also have eye problems, lung problems, ear problems, and chronic pain problems. So,
yes.
I mean, it's the thing that got me into it. First story of many was I was playing Animal Crossing, and my mom was in the living room where she she was medically retired at the time, and she was curious what I was doing. So I told her about, Animal Crossing as a whole. This was on the GameCube, and so she was interested. So I bring the GameCube out, plug it into the big old TV out front, and she is engrossed by it. She loves watching me play this chill out, feel good game, to the point where she had my dad get her a GameCube, because this was when the GameCubes were like $100 a whack. I mean, they were kind of phasing out for the Xbox 360 and the PS3 and all that. And she got completely engrossed in Animal Crossing, and to the point where her mind had been going because, well, she was very sick and she was dying, and her brain was dying quicker. So she had these things called TIAs. I can't remember what it stands for, like transio idiopathic arrhythmias or something like that.
Wow.
And basically it would make her word salad. And getting a call from your mom in high school, like the nurse had me come to the office because I didn't have a cell phone. I still don't have a cell phone. I'm old. Having your mom talk to you, the tone is right, but the words are completely random, like utterly random. It is weird and jarring and terrifying. So, fast forward a few months from that experience, I get her into Animal Crossing, and then she gets into Pikmin and Harvest Moon and all these other, similar types of games, and they bring her mind back.
Wow.
And for like 6 months, like she's doing better, she's doing great, and then she has 12 heart attacks, and I have to put her in hospice. And boy, I really had to fucking argue for that one. I did the best thing a son could do. I killed my mom. I told the doctors to put her in hospice, and I had to argue with so many people to do it. It's like, just let her go, for God's sake.
Yeah. I mean,
she goes into hospice, 30 minutes later, she dies. Peacefully, happy, smile on her face. That's what the nurse said.
And that's kind of where you have to go with some of that in the end, is say, okay, who are you keeping them alive for?
Exactly.
You or them? Because if they're miserable...
Yeah. And that's exactly how I put it to the doctor, because my dad was adamant that she not leave because he didn't want to be without her. And I get that, but I mean, after 12 heart attacks, she wasn't doing shit anymore.
Yeah, you would really have to look at quality of life at that point. But I think that story really illustrates what you've been saying a lot to me when we've had conversations and when you've been in my streams and things like that, is that gaming has a wonderful ability to be restorative. It's actually very good therapy.
It's more than escapism, although the escapism is powerful too. It is also rehabilitative, and I point to when you were playing Talented.
Yes.
I mean, I could feel your body like responding faster than it was at the beginning, and I could feel how empowering that was for you. And then you take. I mean, there's this game Forza. I haven't played it. It's too new. It's too AAA for me. But apparently, it's blind playable. How many blind people can drive a fucking car? That has to be like just an amazing experience for them, and that's great. The Last of Us 2. There's this guy that he bawled like a baby when he saw all the accessibility options, which I think is performative, but whatever. And I mean, it nonetheless is a very powerful experience to be able to to be able to pick up a AAA game and actually be able to play the goddamn thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I didn't show you that. And sometimes it doesn't actually take that much to be able to do it. I showed you the image, here it is, of Legend of Grimrock. This is what got me into accessibility the way I'm doing it now. Here, I'll send it to you. Basically, this very disabled veteran was asking for a very specific kind of old school control scheme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the devs were like, he's like, I know it's not really a big thing. I know it's kind of way too much work for you guys, but it'd be cool if this could happen. And they're like, actually, it wouldn't be too much work at all. Here you go.
Right, and that's kind of what I've been saying a lot in my own way, and that's kind of why I'm so glad that I've met people like you and Chad and a bunch of other people in the game sphere of things, because I've been saying, like, you people at large always have this idea like, oh, accessibility for disabled people is like premium stuff that we have to go and do and figure out, and all that kind of stuff.
If you think about it early enough, you can get it done very easily. And the problem that I run into as somebody who advocates is a lot of the developers just say, oh, we'll put it in QA. We'll put it at the last leg of the development cycle. It's like, yeah, you can kind of do that for the options for some of the easier stuff, but if you really want to get accessibility on the ground floor, you just plan for it in the beginning. You look at the game. Yeah. You look at a game like War Sim. It's like an $8 game. This dude made it in Terminal of all things. So screen readers can just read it out of the box. Blind people can totally play the game, but it's also a fully complex, big game that you can sink dozens upon dozens of hours into. I mean, it is a legitimately good game that blind people can also play. And he didn't really plan for that. Well, he did with War Sim, but he didn't plan with his first game to do that. It just kind of fell into place because it was in Terminal, and JAWS and other screen readers just happened to be able to read Terminal. So when he found out that blind people could almost play his first game, he's like, well, hell, I can just do this, and this. And now blind people can play his second game, same as sighted. So if you think about it early enough, or if the ideas are simple enough to implement, it's not that big of a deal. All you really need to be able to play a game is the ability to control it and the ability to see what's on the screen that needs to be controlled. And you can either do that with, sound cues or vibration controls on your controller, or all kinds of things. There's a bunch of different ways to do things, like color blindness, for example. I told you I'd get going. A lot of
No, you're good, no worries.
A lot of the filters, a lot of those damn colorblind filters, they don't do anything. They're horrible, they're terrible, they don't work at all. But the AAA companies seem to love using them for, my guess is just they're easy to put in and say, oh look, we're so acceptable. Yeah. The best thing to do for color blindness is just have alternate means of displaying the same thing. If you're gonna use, let's say you drink a health potion. Instead of it just being the green number, it should be a green number with a plus on it. And then if you lose health, it's a red number with a minus on it. That way, colorblind people can see the minus and the plus, and they don't need to worry about the colors being, this or that. There's no need for a filter, because there's an alternate means of displaying the same information. It's simple shit like that. It's like having the option for clean fonts or dyslexic fonts, or having the option for a light on dark or dark on light, alternate UI. It's not impossible to do. It's just getting in touch with them early enough to be able to do it. And that's where my biggest failure, I'm probably going to be my biggest failure till I end up retiring, is Baldur's Gate 3. 3 years ago, I made a video about Baldur's Gate 3, and I gave them all the information I had, I gave them all the things they could do, and I spread it out. I tried to get it everywhere because I knew Baldur's Gate was going to be the biggest game of the decade. And the bastards never got back to me.
Oh, no.
They didn't even tell me to fuck off, which I would have taken. That's fine. I'm a niche channel. I get it. You only want to stick with the big channels that'll get your marketing out there. But, for fuck's sake, guys, at least give me something to work with. But it is frustrating, but when I do get, literally anything in, even if it's a brightness slider or something, it still feels just over the moon that I managed to help a little bit.
And so. I think that's really all that, it's gonna end up being in the end for a lot of us. It's just, we may not always make the big impact that we're hoping to, but at least if we make the small victories, those are ultimately gonna add up into a huge result in the end.
Even if I end up talking to a dev team and they say, oh no, there's nothing we can do, the game's too far in development, we don't know what we would do at this time, that's fine, because I can still go on my spiel, I can still give them all the information I have for the next game. And I have a point in fact of that one, because Age of Wonders 3, great game, made by Triumph Studios. I got in touch with them. They couldn't really do anything at the time, but they did give me some INI edits that I could use, and so I was able to play their game, do a review, and all that. And so I tell them, hey, you know what you guys ought to do for the next game is add in a UI scale. That way people don't have to mess with the INI edits. They can just do it right from the game proper. And then they did it. And so
nice.
I reviewed Planetfall and told them, okay, here's what you could do for Age of Wonders 4. Thicker grid lines, this, that, and the other. And some of the things they added, some of the things they didn't. But the point remains, I helped make their games more accessible.
Yeah.
Did I make them better? Well, I made them better for us.
Which is, I think it's commendable in itself, and it just kind of goes back to a thing that I get so frustrated that people often use as the reason why not to accommodate us. I had plenty of people saying, but Tiffy, you can't ask people to accommodate people with disabilities because there's just too many to accommodate. And I'm just like, it's really the simple things that if they were just made more accessible and more movable for people, that's one way that you could get more accessibility without acting like it's a whole separate thing that you're doing for people.
The way I view it is I ask and I give ideas, and if the devs like the ideas and if they're feasible to be put in, they'll put them in. The onus is on them. All I do is give them the information to do with what they see fit. The more devs that have more information, the better the chance that we'll get something down the line. That's how I view it.
I agree.
And then an alternate take, the one that I get that I fucking hate, but considering I came from 4chan, 8chan, and Gamergate back in the day, I got a lot of it. what is the get good mentality. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
recently came to a conclusion. I think it's a 50-50 split, at least for me. I think it's 50% that we need to get good at games, and then 50% the devs need to add options for us. Not easy options, just key rebinds, just
Yeah.
easier to read UIs. Case in point, Elden Ring. I'm good with the combat. I'm fine with the combat. Combat's nice and difficult and, whatever. But I can't navigate that fucking map. And there's these visual cues, like these sun things that apparently show where you're supposed to go next. I literally can't see them, so I can't progress the game.
Yeah, see that would be my problem. And I'm sure that you've kind of seen this on some of my streams that you've been on where I am playing a game, where I have to kind of navigate more about where I'm going and the map isn't as obvious. I can get really lost really quickly, and that makes certain games like Elden Ring or like some of these other games that I might really like to play, but because I know I am so directionally challenged, it's like I could play, but then I'd end up getting lost.
That's what happened with me with Borderlands 3. Their map is this 3D map, and since I can't see in 3 dimensions, it completely screwed me.
And I have someone in my chat, Silver, who said, speaking of which, someone mentioned on another stream there are some disability badges that you can use on Twitch, but someone pointed out that they aren't accessible to people who are blind. And that's kind of a whole other thing about accessibility and what kind of things we kind of take for granted when we assume that something's accessible, and then something like that comes up and it's like, well, duh. That gets into the whole
tokenistic representation, and I cannot abide that. If you're gonna put a disabled person in a game, do it right. Like Hogwarts Legacy actually got in contact with a guy that I personally know who used to be a friend of mine, and they actually consulted him on how will we want to put a blind student in the game? How would we do this respectfully, and how would we do it right? And so you get Ominous Gaunt, who is tapping around with his wand instead of a blind cane, and it actually works really well because they actually took the time to get out there and do it right. Even though the guy and I aren't friends anymore, he and I still share the same goal. We still want to make games more accessible. We still want to bring more attention to disabled gamers and disabled people in general. And so props to WB and who was it, Avalanche, that did that one, where they actually went and did the work. And I mean, it's not like it took much work. You just interview the guy for like half an hour. He'll tell you all you need to know. You get us going, we'll never shut up about it.
Basically. And that's kind of the other thing that I've been saying for a long time now in the VTuber community is, for me, disability representation is not about like doing it in such a way that other people find it palatable or other people find it sanitized enough to sell you on it. To me, it's
the real raw experience.
Yeah, like the real experience of being disabled and living that life, and not to just say, oh, look how annoying this part of my life is. It's just to bring you into my skin a little bit and to say, like, this is what it's like for me. This is, this is what I go through.
And then on the other side of the aisle, you've got all the inspiration porn about, oh, look at how strong and brave this person is doing a regular thing that normal people can do.
Yes. Inspira porn. Ah, yes.
Yeah, I hate that shit.
It's either that or tragic porn. Meanwhile, I just like regular porn. You know, that's.
I'll stick to my usual cadre of sites that aren't inspirational in the least. They're degenerate.
Yeah.
I came from 4chan and 8chan. Of course they're gonna be fucking degenerate.
And, I like what Kali points on here. He says there are games like Genshin Impact which allow you to path more directly where you're supposed to go, which for me is really helpful because
Navis has come a long way in the last 5 years. I'm really happy with how that's turned out. I mean, the thing of it is I understand why Elden Ring doesn't have it, because they're trying to make it oblique. The problem is they made it just a hair too oblique for people with crappy eyes.
Well,
or navigationally challenged in your case.
Yes. And I think, like, I think the fact that people want to take the dialogue and say, oh, well, but you just want easy mode or you want baby mode. It's like,
easy
no.
mode is the last fucking thing I want. If a game dev ever added easy mode for disabled people, like, if I were ever responsible for that, I would quit gaming altogether. In shame. I would be insulted and ashamed. Now, that's not to say that an easy mode isn't for accessibility. It totally is. It totally can be used. But I do not want a dev to change their game for me. I want the dev to add stuff for us, not change it. I want the dev's full vision, as much of it as we can get.
Right.
Like,
just with
their whole point with Celeste was for the people to be able to finish the game. They wanted people to do that. So they added a bunch of easy mode accessibility options to help people get to the end of the game. Cool, fine.
Right.
That keeps within their vision of the game. Something like Elden Ring, though, that wouldn't work because that's not the vision Miyazaki is going for. I don't even like Elden Ring, but I can tell what he's going for because I play enough roguelikes to know that they're going for the journey, not the destination.
And, I mean, to that end, what I always said to people who had, when there was that whole Elden Ring thing going on, I said, why is it bugging you if there's an option for me that you're not ever going to need to use? It's like, it's the equivalent of going to 31 flavors and screaming at somebody because they ordered cookies and cream when you want peanut butter. It's like, excuse me.
That's a very apt comparison. Yeah, I like that a lot. I've never understood that. The only reason I have issues with easy modes and the like is thematics. Like, if Miyazaki got enough bitching and he wanted to add an easy mode to his game, it's like, okay, he wanted to add an easy mode to his game. I'm not gonna bitch. He wanted to do it himself. I don't think people should be pressured to do that shit. And a lot of my peers don't agree with that either. They definitely want to pressure devs to make the game their way, and I just want to give us the tools so that we can play the game our way.
Right. And I agree with that, and I think that's why you and I agree on a lot of the way we kind of view accessibility for games. It's like, we don't want a lesser experience in the easy mode.
Collie.
We just want, like, an ability to access it and engage.
We want to get to the same starting line as anybody else. We don't want to be pushed to the finish line. We want to get there on our own merit.
Yes.
We just want to get to the place first so that we can, do the thing.
Yeah, and I think this is why. I think with things like this, it's always a community effort. It's not one person in the community that's going to end up, like, fixing it for everybody. I think as a community, we make small strides toward having more and more access, and I think that's particularly why, I have in the past gotten so frustrated when I've been working towards certain things and I have to deal with people in the community who don't necessarily always recognize my contributions. And it's like, dude, this is a community effort. I'm not sitting here saying that any one of us is going to be responsible for fixing the whole thing. But in my opinion, you got to respect the people who were here before you and who have, like, added to this.
Excuse me. I was brought in by Ian Hamilton. He's the big high mucky muck of accessibility. He's got a site and everything. He's made this massive fucking list that I love to give to devs because they're always amazed at how much is on there. Excuse me, goddamn lungs. And
You're fine.
I always give him due credit because he got me out of Gamergate and out of 4chan and out of 8chan, where I was convincing people, but I was convincing 4chan and 8chaners. I mean, what is that going to accomplish? So he actually brought me, to the devs so that I could make my spiel, and he has never tried to make me anything other than what I am. I made it very clear to him that I am very much not like normal accessibility advocates because I'm approaching it from the 4chan, 8chan, get good mentality. So whereas they want all these options and they want the developers to change the games for them, I'm like, give us the tools so that we can get good.
Right.
And in regards to a goal that I would like to see eventually, to the point where I'm putting skin in the game on it, I want to get a tattoo of the first game that I helped make fully blind playable. I've got a couple of irons in the fire, and I'm not sure if I can talk about them yet, because we don't know if they'll actually come to fruition or not.
Right.
But the first game that I actually managed to get blind playable, I'm going to get a full sleeve on my arm. I'm going to get the devs' names in Braille on the inner forearm, and then I'm going to get a graphic on the outer forearm, and their art people can decide what, that ends up being.
I think that would be lovely to do that. I think that's going to be exciting, and I hope it happens so you can get
yes,
the
they
ink.
Did. They made, some 4chan devs made Katawa Shoujo. That was a funny and weird fucking experience of that. It was really good to play, though. It was a fun game.
It's a pretty good visual novel. I actually looked at it a couple of years ago, and I might actually go back and look at more, because I was totally into a lot of disability dialogue and disability representation, especially in things like visual novels, and Katawa Shoujo is one of the ones that people kept recommending to me. Hey, Tiffy, you gotta play this.
It actually is
I really liked
surprisingly
it.
good. It's surprisingly good. It's surprisingly respectful.
Yes.
And I think the reason it is because 4chan did a double troll. They trolled by saying we're making a cripple game, and then they trolled everyone else by making it a respectful cripple game.
Yes. Instead of just something on a weird late night television that's just like, oh wow, here's another cringe bit of disability media that you all think is funny, but it's not really disability accurate.
Yeah, it wasn't exploitative, it wasn't demeaning, it was just, these are disabled girls. These are girls who are disabled. Same tropes, but they also bring in the disability part of it and, just play it straight.
And they allow you to just experience the disability as it is. They're not making concessions for it. They're not making excuses for it. It just is what it is.
Yep.
And the characters just go through what they go through.
And that's how life is as a disabled person, especially when you're born with it. I feel so fucking bad for the people who get it later in life, especially vision loss. Oh god, that scares the bejesus out of me still. I've only lost a little bit of my vision due to a cataract surgery, and I am terrified of being completely blind, even though I'm 2400, which is damn near blind. But, what else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, when, to give you proof positive that we're disabled, we're people first and disabled second, I ended up going to prison for a year when I was younger. I beat the shit out of some guy in a bar who wouldn't leave me alone, and because I was stone cold sober and he was drunk and I fucking wrecked him, I got popped with assault.
Wow.
So, and this is California in the early aughts, so they wanted to make an example out of me to show that, disabled people are people too, and so it's kind of the downside of that.
Wow.
So I did a year, and oh my god, I was so fucking terrified. I knew I was gonna get it. I didn't know I was gonna get that much of it, and oh lord, my lips were blue when they took the prison photo. I was scared absolutely shitless, and I do not dissemble on that front. I was terrified. But it's funny that it ended up happening. It ended up breaking me out of my sheltered kind of shell that most disabled people are in. Sorry, it's true. Most of us are sheltered.
I mean, yeah, I'm not...
Every disabled person needs a kick in the ass. I'm sorry, it's true. And my kick in the ass was 2005 to 2006 when I went to prison. And I've got tons of stories, but the one I wanted to share, especially because Tiffy was playing D&D, was...
Yes.
We started up a D&D group. So you can have books sent in. And this was before the cataract, so I was still able to read. And so I had, books sent in. I had Japanese to learn Japanese to try and do something productive with my time. And eventually, I got moved to the branch when... Sidebar. I'm very obviously legally blind. It's really obvious to anyone who sees me. So they put me on the medical floor. Also, the asthma thing. Died in prison. Didn't give me my inhaler fast enough. Well, that's the third of 3. And
Wow.
so I'm on the medical floor. Everything is going fine. I've only got a few months left. And they see me, one of the nurses sees me brushing my hair, back when I had hair, on in a mirror. And I am like an inch away from the thing. It's very obvious that my eyes are screwed up. And she goes to someone and tells them that I'm not actually as blind as I said I was, even though I said ROP, 2400, one eye only. I told them the truth. I'm not going to lie to them. What's that going to accomplish? And so they sent me to the branch, which is, well, they sent me off the floor, rather. And we called it the branch. They sent me off the floor to regular, and when I was there, what are you gonna do? You can't really play cards. I gotta socialize somehow. Gotta make sure that I'm not gonna get my ass kicked or get stolen from again. And so I stumble on the idea. Let's do D&D. Okay.
Nice.
We can only use soft cover books because hardcover books can be used as a weapon. You got to get them brought in through Amazon or Barnes and Noble. And so I get D&D for Dummies. And one of the guards, I guess, saw me working out or talking or doing something, and he got the biggest fucking kick out of the D&D book. So he, apropos of nothing, just walks in and goes, "Hey, here's this," throws a bunch of enlarged character sheets and that, and then immediately got flown off the floor. They moved him to a completely different, well, it's showing favoritism to a prisoner. You can't go doing it.
Yeah.
But I just got the biggest fucking kick out of that. It was so nice of him. And so we're tooling around on this half-complete book, barely knowing anything about anything. It's 3.5 edition, and so we kind of sort of get started. We can't use dice, so we make a spinner out of the back of a notebook and I think it was like a plastic spoon and some comb tines and other things like that.
That's so awesome.
I think we used toothpaste to glue it to the back so that it would spin right. And so we had spinners instead of dice.
That's so cool.
So this dude comes in and he's nuts. And I mean, seriously, drugged and mental institution and drugged nuts.
Oh no.
He wants to be our DM. And we're like, sure. We don't have any idea what we're doing. And this dude goes apeshit. He makes maps. He makes lore. He wrote a Bible and everything. This dude went crazy. And so, by the time he gets done, we're so fucking terrified of not playing with him, because he also added a bunch of rules that were just really convoluted.
Wow.
And so we're like, okay, we'll play. So, the last 3 months of my stay were spent playing with this absolute lunatic who, if we tried anything, he would have fucked us up. He was one of those. He was one of those rangy dudes who would have a shiv on him at all times.
So good.
And he was determined. He was going to tell his story. He was going to do his shit. He was going to make this the best D&D experience ever because he grew up in the 70s. goddammit. And that was how this was going to go. And it's like, okay, buddy, you fucking go, man.
That's so great.
We had a
wow.
Goat. God, I'll never forget that fucking goat. Oh, Lord. It was just a goat, but he played it so fucking straight. Like, this dude knew goats. And we had to feed him exactly the right amount of, tin cans and trash and grass and all kinds of shit. And we had to make sure this fucking goat made it. Because this goat was the chosen goat. And we were its escort. It was the hero, not us. And oh my Christ almighty, I'll never forget that motherfucker as long as I live.
That's so great. That's
so
amazing.
Apparently, if you want a fun time, you find a mentally deranged lunatic and get him to DM your campaign because he will knock it out of the park.
That's so
At least in his own mind.
That's so
And then
good.
I get out 10 years later, I see on YouTube, apparently D&D is wildly popular in prison. I did not know that. But it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
No, I mean, it does make sense because what the fuck else are you gonna do in there? I mean, what are you gonna play dominoes, play cards? Yeah, sure you could, but I mean, to the more creative-minded and the younger crowd, you get into D&D. I mean, it's perfectly harmless. I mean, it's actually better than cards and dominoes because it's a cooperative effort. That's why the guards like it, because it keeps us from fighting.
Except for fighting, monsters, but at least you're not fighting each other and.
Or the guards.
Yeah, or the guards. And on that note, it's kind of the same thing I'm going to be implementing as a counselor is using D&D to help people actually work through their issues using
D&D,
roleplay.
cooperative games, all kinds of things like that. I mean, you'd be amazed at how helpful building a house in Terraria or Minecraft is with somebody can be to bring you closer together to where you're not beefing so much.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, I told the guy I would tell this story whenever I could. Pruno's fun. Pruno is things they make. It is alcohol.
Yes, I know what that is.
Yeah. They call it hooch. They call it Pruno. We called it Pruno. They made it out of Jolly Ranchers. So I took a sip, and I never should have done that. But I mean, it's rot gut. It is what it is. So the dude who made it had it just on a stall or something, and an officer comes in to do a sweep to make sure there's no contraband. And so he sees the bottle and he knows it's Pruno because what the hell else is it gonna be? It's in a cheese bottle.
Yeah.
So he smacks it and it flies everywhere and it eats the varnish off the floor.
Oh no!
My initial thought is, that's why it burned going down.
Oh!
Because it was actively caustic.
That's alcohol!
Yeah, that'll do it. If you haven't done this, I have to recommend this. Best prison idea ever is the spread. So what a spread is, hang on, door because Chip came in. What a spread is you take the just crappiest food stuff ever and just mix it together. You got your ramen, you got your Spanish rice, you got your beans, you've got your corn chips, you've got beef jerky, you've anything you can think to put into this. Well, I guess you nowadays, now that you're free, you put it into a pot, but we put it into a garbage bag with some hot water and we just kind of waited. And it's 1 out of 10 foodstuffs, but it actually tastes 6 out of 10 good. And nothing should ever do that, but it does. As long as you don't eat too much of it. If you eat too much of it, you will get sick. But if you eat it sparingly, it's pretty good. And then you wrap it in a tortilla or put it in a corn tortilla and,
It sounds like that one cookbook my twin brother actually found one year that was like a cookbook made by someone who had been in prison. I forget what the title of it was. But
they make pizzas, they make cakes, they make all kinds of goofy shit. And now YouTube, I mean, ex-cons on YouTube talking about, all the recipes and stuff. A spread is practically quaint now. So, let me open the door again for Chip. Go on, go see it. I guess you just wanted to check in on me. Oh man, what else did I want to bring up? I did want to bring up some
health, exercise.
Yes, indeed. So that's something else I've been doing ever since. Okay, I guess I'll sidebar onto this. I've always been a bigger guy because of I was told from a very young age that I was not supposed to exercise because of my lungs, and three deaths would definitely prove that point. I've been clinically dead for over 3 minutes over the course of 3 deaths, about a minute a whack. And It's just, I have an asthma attack, my lungs feel like fire, and I pass out and wake up in the hospital and, oh yeah, you died again. So.
Oh, great.
Oh, the one in prison was a great one. They wouldn't give me my inhalers. They wouldn't give me all 3 of them that I was taking at the time. And one of them was Ceravent, really expensive. And so they didn't want to do it. They didn't think they needed to. Well, I proved them wrong. After that, all the Ceravent I could take. Yeah, they wanted to be fucking sure that I wasn't going to sue them because I didn't have the money, I would have. But anyway, so always been big. Never thought I could lose the weight. Tried to exercise kind of off and on. Didn't really take. And let me see. What you do is take it all. Yep. Does that mean you see spirits for real, Max? It's interesting you bring that up, Reaper. I can actually see auras, but I don't know how powerful it is anymore. It used to be way bigger than it is now. Now it's a lot harder to do. Probably just age. But so 2022 happens. I get a gout flare. When you're fat, it happens. It just it sucks. And this is during COVID, and I can't wear masks. I've never been able to wear a mask. I did a YouTube video. You can actually look it up on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/@MaxAngor, and of me putting on a mask. Within 3 minutes, I had an asthma attack. I had a controlled asthma attack. In that I know what to wait for before I rip the damn thing off and get an inhaler hit. So, had a gout flare, couldn't go into the hospital. They would not let me in the building because I can't wear a mask. And I was so fucking pissed at them for that I decided, fuck it. I don't care if I do die. I'm going to die thin, or at least trying to get thin. I'm going to go to the emergency room, get my fucking prednisone, and lose this goddamn weight. And it's a good thing they gave me prednisone because prednisone gives me roid rage, which gives me all the energy I could ever need to start walking.
See, it's funny that you say that because prednisone is one of the few that makes me nuts. I will start having hallucinations on that one, so they know not to ever give me that one.
I do not like prednisone, but it does work at getting rid of gout. So as soon as I was able to walk, I started walking. I started taking Chip for walks. He's a pit bull. Pit bulls love to walk, so he was in seventh heaven. And I lost the weight over 13 months of trial and error. I lost the weight, and so if I can do it, anyone can do it. If I can do it with lungs that literally aren't allowed to work, I am not allowed to get a job because my lungs are considered a liability because I could die on the job. If I can do it, you can do it. You just have to, you start slow and you work your way up. That's literally all there is to it. I found a gout diet that, said cut out all the processed crap, avoid this, and this, and eat this, and this. And so mostly it was saltines that I was eating, but I started eating healthier and as cheap as I could afford.
Hello, dear. Welcome.
I stopped eating as much, and the hunger pain sucked for about a month. And whenever I had the hunger pain, I just walk and walk and walk and walk and walk. I was walking 12 miles a day that first year. Now I'm down to about 4 or 6, depending on if I need to do 2 or 3 laps in a day. But it really is just there's a sweet spot with your heart rate that you want to get to. That is how you know you're going to lose weight. If you can get your heart rate to a specific sweet spot where it is going, but it's not going so hard that you feel like you're going to
die, right?
Once you hit that sweet spot, all exercising is you just keep hitting that sweet spot. And you want to kind of hover around there. And if it's too much, you slow back. If it's too little, you speed up a little. And it's consistency. Every day I walk. Every single fucking day. It doesn't matter how bad the weather is. I walk. I'm actually known for it. People in the neighborhood have stopped their cars to go, hey, we've noticed you're walking. We noticed you're losing all this weight. It's like, oh, yeah, thanks. You can do it too.
That's awesome.
It's just a matter of picking, for working people, it would be pick a time, pick an exercise you're going to do, biking or walking or, anything really, just as long as you keep doing it and keep doing it consistently and don't eat too much. And that sucks. I hate not eating too much. I love to gorge. I miss the gorge. Eventually I got to the point where gorging doesn't even work for a dopamine hit anymore. So there's no point in me gorging anymore, which both makes me happy and kind of makes me sad.
Well, it do be like that sometimes, and I think
Reaper. It was an assault charge. It was a regular assault charge. I am not like Jared from Subway. Come on now.
Oh no!
Oh, we did. We wanted to get to the PC yard so bad. Everyone would talk about the shit we would do to the PC yard, but no. When, contrary to Oz and other prison media, when you go to prison, you just want to get your time done with. Even the lifers just want to day-to-day it,
Yeah.
Most people are not out there doing hits and doing, sex and all that stuff. It happened, but it was the transgender guy in the corner, meth head. He was pretty popular for obvious reasons, but generally people just wanted to get their time done with. And that's just human nature.
Yeah. And I think the takeaway message from that is, I think there's a lot of people out there who make a lot of assumptions about what disabled people can do. And
especially
how
doctors.
They can, yeah, and especially doctors. Because when I was little, I had a ton of doctors say I would never be able to write my name, I would never be able to talk or do anything else, So I think the takeaway message is, if you are going to make assumptions about disabled people, maybe you should check those assumptions at the door. Even your own assumptions.
Yeah, it goes for us too. because I assumed that my doctors were right, that I would never be able to work out, that I shouldn't even try. But lo and behold, I mean, the other thing for weight loss, you have to be motivated.
Mm-hmm.
I am motivated by hate. Oh, Lord, am I motivated by hate. And for a long time, it was my bad uncle, my Uncle Carl. He was an abusive asshole. He was. There was no sexual abuse or anything, but he was a lot of physical abuse. And a lot of emotional abuse, too. He's just one of those old school, toughen him up kind of uncles. And it turned out when I was 18 that when I turned 18, he was like, "Oh, no, I just did that to toughen you up. I don't mean anything by it." That kind of takes the wind out of my sails. No, he legitimately meant it, too. That's the scary part.
Right, and that's where I would just be like, yeah, you didn't mean any of that. Yeah, just like a lot of people in my life who are like, "Oh yeah, well, we just wanted to make sure you could handle the tough stuff," and it's like, yeah, no, you actually just enjoyed doing that.
Oh, there was a sadistic element to it. I'm almost positive Carl was an asshole. But the thing of it is I hated him for so long, and then when he turned out to be kind of a nothing, it's like, well, I need something else to hate. Well, I know what I'll hate. I'll hate this stupid body which has done nothing but be a pain in my ass every day of my life. I'll hate it because I can hate it forever. So now I've got my endless rage. I've always got my body that I can fall back on. These goddamn lungs, this goddamn fiber, all that shit. And if you have enough motivation, you can do anything. And I'm proof of that. Fucking hell. So, if you want to lose the weight, you need to find a good enough reason to lose the weight. It doesn't matter what the fucking reason is. It can be that you guys want to have a better sex life, and so you're going to lose the weight to have a better sex life. That's fine, as long as it motivates you to get your ass out the door every day. Like, there's a new thing I'm doing. I'm trying to work out every morning. I didn't do it this morning because I woke up in a lot of pain, but for the previous 2 mornings I had been doing it because my roommate Derek wants to take us to the gym every morning, and I'm kind of slow to get off the gate. And so I've started working out a little every morning. 50 sit-ups, 50 push-ups off my bed. Because still, even though I lost the weight, I still can't do regular push-ups for some damn reason. And I do some stuff with some dumbbells. Get your heart rate going. And so that I can not be the weak link when we go to the gym all the time. And I mean, that's enough motivation to get me out of bed and get me working out even when I really don't want to. So I mean, it's not a big to-do, it's just getting the motivation and getting the right plan to see it through. Like, with the diet thing, there was a lot of trial and error with the diet thing.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Diets can be...
Oh, yeah, Kali. I've got Spite and Pride tattooed on the backs of my hands.
I mean, and that's the thing. Like, people have asked me, TV, you've almost been here for 4 whole years. Why are you still here? It's like, well, I'm here because I like to do it, and I'm here out of spite, too, because there are people in the community who would like nothing more than to see me graduate, which is exactly why that's not gonna fucking happen until I'm good and ready.
For me, it's similar. I don't want to let the other advocates control the conversation. I want to be sure that my voice is in there too, saying, hey, we just want to get to the starting line. We don't want you pushing us to the finish line.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, and it's true for all of us disabled folk, cripple time dies slow. It just does. We need shit to do. And when you're a workaholic who isn't allowed to work, you need a lot of shit to do.
Basically.
So I stream, so I do advocacy work, so I do exercise, so I do dishes around here because nobody else wants to do them. Hey, it helps them. They all, both my roommates and my wife all say that they appreciate me shoving dishes into the dishwasher.
Well, hey, whatever keeps the place clean and keeps things moving.
Oh, I don't keep things clean. That's Derek again. I can't see the dust or anything. Like, I end up leaving the kitchen as a disaster area when I cook, and it's not a lot of big things, it's just a lot of little things that I can't see. So he doesn't really give me too much shit about it, but he does give me a little shit from time to time. As you do. Good bit of spite and pride is... Yeah, exactly! Yeah! My spite and pride is to show people that I am just as capable or more capable than they are. I'm not looking to push people, I'm not looking to use it to push other people down, I'm looking at it to raise myself and other people up. That is my big thing. I want to help raise other people up. I want
Preach.
people who are where I was
Yes.
to know that it's not impossible, that if I can do it, you can do it. It's not that hard. It just takes commitment and motivation.
Yes.
And if you can find something, anything to be motivated about, you'll make it eventually. It's just a matter of consistency.
And
Oh, God, I love
and
my
that's
coffee.
pretty much like what I'm about to, you know. I have people in this community who have, you know, said that I'm selfish and a control freak and all this other kind of stuff, and it's like, no,
A little
I'm
bit of
just
selfishness and control freakness is how you get shit done.
I'm just doing my thing. I want to make sure people get served, and I want to make sure that people get the support they need, because like I've said, to me, you don't get into advocacy because you want to be popular. You get into advocacy because you know it needs to be done.
Oh, you want to talk about fucking popular? I'll tell you about popular. So, I'm so principled in terms of how I do my videos that there's no way I'll ever get popular because my videos are the gameplay. And I don't review games, I review the accessibility of the games. And so the devs can look at the videos and go, okay, he's obviously having trouble here, here, and here. Maybe we can do this or this or this, or, you know, some of his ideas. And then for the users, they can see this is what the game is. There's no entertaining commentary or anything like that. It's just my straight opinions. And if people like what they see, they can buy the game on their own. I trust my viewers that, you know, to be adult enough to say, okay, this is what the game is. Is this something I'm going to want to spend money on? And I, you know, let the game speak for itself, but it's not very entertaining for most people, though. But that's fine, because I'm not trying to be entertaining. I'm trying to be entertaining on stream. I'm not trying to be entertaining in my videos. I'm trying to be informative in my videos.
Right, and I think that's just kind of, you know, that's good that you have the distinction of when you have certain kinds of energy versus other kinds of energy, and I think it just comes down to, you know, content creation as a whole, is that there's certain things that you make in a certain way, in a certain mode, and you have other modes that you do other things in that aren't necessarily made the same way.
I definitely think that there needs to be more cooperation in the communities. You're very much right about that. I think people need to, I mean, they like to shit stir and, you know, for example, calling you selfish and calling you control freak, and I don't see those things necessarily as bad things. I see you as I see you as somebody who goes out and gets it. You're a go-getter.
Yep.
And I'm the same way. We are principled people who do things our way, and if they're not necessarily the normal way that normal people do things, not even because of the disabilities, that's more just our mindsets.
Yes.
We are people who go our own way. It just is what it is.
Yes.
And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but, you know, our focus is going to be our focus, and it just is what it is. And it's not like we're here trying to ruffle feathers. We're just trying to make sure that our specific messages that we're trying to get out there are out there. My thing about accessibility, your thing about, you know, respect for people who came before you. Those aren't bad messages. And they're not things that should be shoved aside just because you don't like the individual person. I get that people don't like me. I get that I am incredibly brash and have a very abrasive personality. It just... You grow up with bikers and miners, you get an abrasive personality. It is what it is. If you don't throw down in a biker bar, you're gonna get your ass kicked. That's how the thing works.
Yep.
They always saw me as a mascot because I can't actually bike, so I was no real threat to them.
You know, but that's the thing I've been saying, is like, there are a lot of people that I end up making friends with who are seen as abrasive or, like, you know, troublesome personalities, and I'm like, what? They just say how it is. It's because they're not willing to bullshit you and say, oh yeah, no, this thing isn't what it is, you know? And I appreciate people who are honest and blunt and forthright.
I was supposed to be dead at 50. I don't have time to fuck around.
Basically, I almost died when I was 2 days old. I don't have time to fuck around either.
Exactly. So we're busy getting our messages out there because God knows we ain't got time to be fucking around, you know, making friends and stuff. We're busy getting our messages.
Or
Normal people with normal lifespans have time to make friends. I mean, it's not like I don't try to make friends, but if somebody's gonna bullshit me, I don't have time for that.
basically.
It's pretty telling when you can get respect from an Irish guy, especially considering I'm Scottish, and German, and Austrian, and Jewish. Boy Gewalt.
Yeah, so Aiden is another one of my good friends, and he's also somebody who's been, part of my community for a long time, and I don't know what it is. I just naturally attract people who are different, and I like that about me. I think it gives me a chance to learn from a lot of different perspectives, which to me is the great thing about this whole VTubing thing, in my opinion, is to learn from a lot of different people.
That's one thing I really hate that has gone by the wayside in terms of the zeitgeist, that differences of opinion and different perspectives are frowned upon. They're seen as the other tribe instead of perspectives to learn from. Because when I was a kid, the whole thing about college was you go to college to see new perspectives, to help you get your beliefs in order, because they will be challenged by people with completely different beliefs. Now, everything is such a fucking echo chamber that to have a dissenting opinion, I have lost friends. I mean, I'm not going to get political. I just need an example. I voted for Trump twice, so I've lost friends. I've lost lots of friends. In fact, I'm almost positive that's why he had me on his podcast, because I'm not that side, but I came to my own conclusions. I looked at who he was running against both times. I thought he would be the lesser of two evils, honestly. And isn't it sad that it's come to that?
Yes.
But I don't view people who voted for Biden or Clinton as bad people. I view it as we came to different conclusions. And it doesn't matter, because no matter what, our vote doesn't matter. It's nothing that we should be losing friendships over. We should just say, okay, we have differences of opinion. I can still respect somebody who has a difference of opinion. Yeah. I worked with communists, for God's sakes. Avowed communists. It's fine. I can be communists. But we're focused on the task at hand. We're focused on accessibility. So,
I think, so long as you can listen to the other side, and so long as you can find a common ground, I think that's what I've always been after, is to say, there's no way we're going to get around having a difference of opinion. We're different people.
I think it's fine to have a difference of opinion as long as you can maintain the respect that two adults are supposed to have with one another.
Exactly.
And I view it as even if we do disagree on this or that, we can have discussions so that we can empathize with why the person thinks the way they do, voted the way they did, have the opinions that they do on policies or ideas or what have you, and It shouldn't be a thing to push people apart. It should be a thing to bring people together, to have discussions so that their ideas can be challenged. Like transgender people. This is going to get me in trouble. So I had a thing against transgender people for a really long time, and it wasn't a hatred. I was just confused by the whole thing. And every time I tried to ask them about it, I would get so much fucking blowback that I thought, okay, they obviously don't want me, fuck them. And I finally got a transgender friend of mine named Sun. She's on Saria's streams too. I think you know her.
Yes.
And she finally sat me down, finally answered my questions, and explained the whole thing to me. And it turned out that my misconceptions were misconceptions, and that was all I wanted. I just wanted to get the straight story, and she finally gave it to me. She gave me a bunch of YouTube videos with medical advice, and we discussed it, and I asked her about her thing, and she told me about, not all the transgender people getting surgeries and all this other shit, and it helped me come to a better understanding and an acceptance of transgender people. But if I had never run into her, if she had never been if I had never found anybody willing to sit down and explain the thing to me, I would have, been one of those anti-trans, he was biologically male kind of bullshit there. I don't mind calling somebody the pronoun they want to be, as long as they put the work in. If you sound female, I will call you female. That's just how it is with me. I go off ear. Mm-hmm. And if I fuck it up, I'll apologize and try to remember to call you the right pronoun. It's not like it's a big deal, but it could have been a big deal. It was
Right.
on its way to becoming a big deal until a son was there to, declutter and detangle the whole thing for me.
Right,
And I think a lot more people need to be willing to sit down, defend their points of view, defend their ideas to people who don't know. Because I
Yeah.
wasn't hateful towards them. I was hateful towards getting the blowback
Right.
from them. And I mean, it could have ended much differently, and I'm really glad it didn't. Because I
Yeah.
don't like hating people, especially groups of people. I don't like grouping people together.
Right.
Yeah, I like going person by person.
Right, and I think that just really illustrates something that's always been really important to me, and the reason why I try to watch very much what I say and how I communicate to people, because there's a lot of injury that can happen that you weren't necessarily meaning to, just simply because you don't know something and because somebody hasn't explained it to you. And I really wish that more people in the younger generation, not every person in Gen Z, but certainly a lot more Gen Zers, I feel like, do not listen when people are asking for information and say, would you explain this to me?
It's
Would
not a
you
judgment
tell me more
to-
about it, instead of like assuming that I mean harm, you know?
Oh, wow, that's a lot of comments. I'm fine with explaining shit to people, but so many people are disingenuous as fuck about it. That's very true. A lot of people think I'm just another disingenuous asshole who wants to trash on, in this instance, transgender people. And that's their problem. And that's another thing. That's why I'm always more than happy to explain the disability thing. Not even advocacy. I'm one of those people who actually will tell you how blind people wipe their ass. Blind people are fucking sick of that question, by the way. But I'm one of the people that will actually go out of my way to explain all the disability stuff. I do not mind a bit, because I like educating people. Because if you're educated, if you know things, you're not flailing around in the dark. And God knows I'm used to flailing around in the dark. What else is here? Very true. A lot of things about awareness. But if you ask someone about something you understand, they get mad instead of answer. What the fuck kind of info you're supposed to understand in that situation? Exactly. Let's see. Very sick of that question.
I mean, I'm not gonna blame you, Amius, for being sick of some of those questions, but at the same time,
If somebody legitimately wants to know, I'll answer the dumb questions,
Yes.
just so I can get to the important questions.
yes, exactly like me with
Because-
anything like disability. Yes, I've answered those questions thousands of times before, but if someone legitimately doesn't know,
It's the first time they're asking the question rather than the 500th time you're answering it. And I mean, it goes from how do blind people wipe their asses to how do blind people play video games. That's a conversation I'm more than willing to have. Because that gets into the whole accessibility thing, and that gets me on my tag.
yeah,
So if somebody wants to ask Tiffy, how does she function on a day-to-day, and it leads to, accessibility and disability recognition and all that stuff, and I mean, it's just a stupid question that you can turn to your own advantage.
basically.
So while it is annoying to get the question 50 fucking times a day or what have you, it's still worthwhile to answer it respectfully. And I get that trans people have a lot of bullshit they have to deal with, both internally and externally. But just assuming that the person asking is a 4chan dickhead, I mean, even the 4chaners are okay with transgender people for the most part now. I mean, it's even shifted to that. It's just annoying answering the same thing over and over and over, especially with videos. Or worse off, doctors. Oh, Christ, don't even get me started on doctors. You can't feel it when you touch me like, man, you're a doctor. Why the fuck do you not understand quadriplegia? Right.
Well, that might be a whole nother category of stuff on my yes.
Oh, the doctor thing. So I have a story that perfectly encapsulates my issue with doctors. Well, specifically, not even doctors, just nurses, the front staff. So I go in to get my test. New place, new tests. We're getting everything, shored up because, I just turned a big major age, 300, big age. So they they want to do all the tests, and they do the oximeter test. Now I've got the fibro, which also gives me the arthritis, and arthritis is dealt with poorly with cold, and it was freezing cold that day, and we don't have any, like, we didn't have a heater in the truck or anything, so it's a 30-minute drive to the place, and so my hands are freezing. She puts the thing on me, it reads low, so she immediately says, you need oxygen, and it turned out I didn't need oxygen, and trying to convince these fucking people that I don't need oxygen.
Oh no.
Because I was more than willing to listen to them at first, but then I get home and I do all these oximeter readings. I'm like, wait, no, this isn't right. It should be lower. I should be in more stress than I am. And trying to get these fucking people to listen to say, look, I don't need it. Let me give it back so that somebody who needs it can get it. Then they put a note in my file that says, this patient obviously doesn't think he needs oxygen, so we're going to retest him on the 24th to make sure. And it's like, you motherfuckers, you God complex motherfuckers. So, definitely don't trust doctors 100% of the time. Definitely do your own research, especially with meds. Do not ever take a med that a doctor gives you without Googling it first.
I always
look into
do
the
that.
side effects. My mom, part of what killed my mom was Actos. The doctor had given it to her, never told her about the side effects, and the side effects were horrifically bad.
Yikes.
So ever since then, I have been very adamant. Everyone, check your meds. Always Google them. And don't do WebMD. Use drugs.com. Or something like that. We do have something that will probably blow you guys' mind. Certain country they actually did this for a family here. Yeah. I want to trust doctors. I wanted to. All my life I wanted to. But god damn it. Doctors are just people, and people are stupid.
And, some of them have ulterior motives, I think.
Oh, yeah. Especially
honestly.
The pharmaceutical industry, yeah.
I mean, especially, there was one time I went in to see a doctor for, my tight muscles and all that stuff. And so I was in there to try to get a prescription for physical therapy. But no, he was like, well, I want to get you a muscle relaxant, and I want to put you on Quaaludes, and then I want to put you in under the knife to, put something in your body that can just constantly dispense medications. And I'm like, no, thank you.
I see. It doesn't happen much anymore, but it used to be really common before YouTube. If you look up Tommy Edison, not Tommy Robinson. Do not look up Tommy Robinson. Tommy Edison. He's a blind guy who answers questions. He has gotten that question so many fucking times.
I don't understand why anyone would need to ask that question, but, I've been...
Oh, you ain't kidding there, Collie.
I've been asked really kind of dumb questions, and I've had people, assume that because I'm in a wheelchair, I'm also deaf or also have other things, and it's like...
oh, yeah. They assume you're retarded.
Yes.
Yeah. My brother is actually mentally disabled. My dad is mentally disabled. He took a fall when he was 4, and he has brain damage. Trivial brain damage. It's always a fucking annoyance when I go in there, I sit down, I'm talking to them, and then they go to my dad, or they go to my brother, or they go to anybody else. 2 diagnoses over 2 years ago, autism. One day after talking to me for only 5 minutes, one other hack goes, I don't think you're autistic, I think you're just depressed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Silver, I'm so sorry.
I keep hearing that I'm autistic or something else, and eventually I'm going to get to a doctor who actually wants to figure out what the hell's wrong with me. I know there's something wrong with my brain, but I don't think it's autism, because I don't manifest the same way most autistic people do. I mean, there's parallels, but it's not right. I'm way too extroverted for one thing.
I mean, the most I will say is I'm definitely neurodivergent, because the cerebral palsy does that.
It's known to do that, yes.
That's kind of what causes the muscle things and all the other things. So, however
cerebral.
else
it's
it
a
manifests.
Palsy.
Yes.
Oh, no. I differentiate immensely between retarded, the put down, and mentally retarded, the medical term. I don't use it in a pejorative sense. I use it in a medical sense. Yeah, I'm positive I'm neurodivergent from coming back from the grave 3 times. I've got
Yeah,
triple Sandy brain.
that'll do that to you. Says someone
I'm
who's
pretty sure
also
what it
come
is
back a couple times.
I'm pretty sure what happens is your brain literally rewires itself as parts of it die.
Basically, yes.
It's a spectrum, manifests differently. Getting muscle relaxers that work properly was a godsend. I'd be more willing to do PT if PTs weren't dog shit. Some of the stretches I had was... Oof, yeah.
I mean, it's not that I would be against taking, like, muscle relaxers if I really needed to, but I think, like, I was just way more uncomfortable with the fact that this doctor was really willing to put me under the knife and have this huge procedure just to constantly flood me full of medications.
Yeah, I don't like being altered. And when I was younger, they gave me so many fucking psych pills. Yeah, my oldest friend, the friend I've had the longest time since 11th grade, is Naspy. And he hates that they changed it. He hates that they changed that term so much. It pisses him off so much. Coding after the doctor's act like I was learning about shit was awesome. Wish could have been a fly on the wall. Back to
Speaking of that, yes, they were actually gonna give me some of that, but then my doctors were like, no, she could probably just get the same result with physical therapy, and I'm just like, well, which is it? Are you
I'm curious, how bad is your cerebral palsy?
I guess I would classify myself in the same way that you classify salsa. I would say I have medium.
Are you able to walk like short distances?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, then basically what you would do there is just, I don't know, walker, have Collie with a wheelchair behind you, just slowly get further every day. I mean, if you were gonna go that route. Or you just get, arm weights and shit.
Well, I do use arm weights, but, I should get up and walk a little bit more. So that is going to be a goal for this year. Move them legs.
Collie. Here's what we're going to do, Collie. You lay on the bed, you put her in the doorway, you make her walk to you. There you go. Problem solved. See, she's laughing because it would work.
Yes.
I have all the ideas. I'm waiting for his reaction. Oh, God.
Reaper, if you have something you want to share and you feel comfortable sharing it, go right ahead.
Yep, don't worry. PT fucked me up more than anything because he didn't want to listen to me. Like, whole ass putting me in a flare and making shit worse rather than doing what I wanted to do. Wanted to learn to do transfers easier, but no, we gotta get you walking. Oh God.
No.
Yeah, that's the worst. When the PT people don't actually listen to you. I was lucky I'd injured my shoulder, and my PT guy was amazing. He's actually how I learned how to properly pace myself. Because he was the one who told me about what you're looking for in a weight loss kind of heart rate thing. So he was really helpful. I'll be wrapped with ribbons on. There you go. See. See, that's how you turn physical therapy into motivated exercise. That's how you lose weight, right there.
Yes.
And then again, they didn't want to listen to the whole I'm a quadriplegic telling me you won't be paralyzed for at least 20. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, no.
The other thing that I've noticed is it really does depend on what medical group you're with, at least if you're in the U.S. It is such a crapshoot from medical place to medical place, from doctor to doctor. It is just such a crapshoot whether you'll get somebody good or not. And if you don't get somebody good, you have to be able to switch. And sometimes that shit just is not viable. If you're on disability, you take what they will give you, and they do not give you a lot.
Nope, and they do not give you a lot of choice either. And in that choice, there's a lot of doctors who honestly just act like they would rather be someplace else.
Yeah, I thought that was because I was on disability, but no, apparently they're just like that to everybody.
Yep.
The doctors give me medication once more, like young preschool, so I should jump on the wall. Yeah, I'm the same way, I see. I do not take meds unless they are absolutely needed. We've got my asthma into maintenance mode, and I'm counting that as good enough. We've got my asthma meds. We finally got a pill that will help my fibro. Brought it back down to 7th grade levels. I can walk less than I could, so A+ going, asshole. But mostly it's just cripple time dies slow, and when you're bored, why not exercise? It's something
Why not?
productive. It's calories burned. TV's the same. Yeah. Well, I mean, the problem with medication is it will fuck with you eventually. It will do irreversible things because we don't know what these meds are going to do. FDA approval is cool and all, but we still don't know. So any med you take is going to be a crapshoot, so you better be fucking sure you need it. That's why on certain days when I act out and pretty much lose my mind, like I act more childish, other days are bad days, other days I'm severely calm. Let's see. I remember being that way when they had me on, I'm not kidding, 1.5 grams of lithium. They had me on 1,500 milligrams of lithium. I had to take 3 500 pills a day. Good policy overall, only take the meds of actually need. Like I'll likely want to complete this year, and frankly I'd rather figure shit out on my own with training. Yeah. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, Amaya, that's pretty much how it has to be. You have to know your body better than they do because they aren't going to give a shit. You have to be the one to give a shit for yourself. You have to advocate for yourself, and it sucks. I hate it. But they've shown they don't care, so fuck them. Learn your body as best you can and tell them what the score is. Lithium helped my bipolar, but it tanked my thyroid, so I had to stop taking it. Yeah, my wife doesn't even have a thyroid anymore. She has Graves' disease. She's on levothyroxine and all. They took it out. Fun fact, throat surgery precludes certain sexual activities. Did not know that.
Ooh.
You can probably extrapolate.
Yes.
But she can't.
I can. Oh. Oh!
Is the U.S. medical system just severely incompetent? I've heard nothing but bad news. When they work great. The problem is, it's so scattered and duct tape and twine, and it is so poorly organized that if you do get good care, it is completely by accident. It needs an overhaul. It's needed an overhaul since it was put into being. But it is such a gigantic monster that if you tried to overhaul it, people would die. I would personally be willing to take the loss. If I were president of the world or whatever, I would take the loss. I would just say, okay, people are going to die. It sucks. We need to overhaul this thing fucking now. But we're a compassionate society, and, well, we can't exactly leave people out in the cold like that. And I mean, I'd be included there. I wouldn't be able to get my meds or anything. But it is such an unwieldy monster that there's no way to fix it without completely destroying it first. Yeah, they mainly care about. Oh no, some doctors are compassionate. Generally, they come from other countries.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that too? Huh? Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Isn't that weird how that works? Let's see. My mom doesn't have a thyroid anymore, a gallbladder. She's got deteriorating discs. She went on breast, middle knee. Yes, she's still walking around being pain in my hands. Oh no, that wasn't what I was referring to, Collie. I was referring to the end. And I'll just kind of leave it hanging there. You know us men folk, we love leaving it hanging. I don't mind the cold, but I can't temp regulate, so I end up hypothermic, but the heat also sends me into... Yeah.
Oh, no.
So, my lungs love the cold. My joints hate the cold, and vice versa.
Great,
so,
yeah.
Jewish bitching at its finest, and I'm not even Jewish. Oh yeah, you wanted to talk about the oracles and the fractal tapestry and all that shit, didn't you? What did you want to know? Did you want to know the whole story how that whole thing came to be? Okay.
Yes.
Near-death experience time. Let's go.
Whee!
So, I died when I was 8. When I was 20. Oh, right. The VTuber thing. Whatever. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
I died when I was 8. I died a lot when I was a baby, but I don't count those. Anything below age of 4 don't count. Otherwise I'd have died like hundreds and hundreds of times. Because I was born 3 months early. So.
Same.
Oh, speaking of medical fuck-ups, the reason I'm low vision, the nurse did not regulate the oxygen levels in the incubator, so I got too much oxygen and my retinas detached.
No.
my mom knocked her out in one punch.
Nice! Way to go, Mom!
That's what being an addict biker will do. And I was so small that my first diaper was a cotton ball and my first clothes were from a teddy bear that they kept in the incubator with me. I remember the teddy bear because the teddy bear was huge because I was so tiny. And I also remember the Houston Oilers on a TV. And the only reason I remember them is because of the bright like sky blue coloring they had on their uniforms. And yeah, I've got a really good memory for shit like that for some reason. Anyway, when I was 8, I died. When I was 22, 21, when I was in jail, when I was in prison, I died. Yeah, it was jail before they sent me to prison. So, and then when I met the wife when I was 26, I died. So every time I had a near-death experience, I see a hooded guy. Well, I assume it was a hooded person. And he didn't say anything. He just was there in a darkness.
Oh.
And so the third time, I'm frustrated at this point because I want to die. I've wanted to die since I was born. I fucking hate this body. Like I said, I really, now I want to live because I gave the son of a bitch 3 chances to let me go and it didn't let me go, so I'm going to drag it to 120. It pissed me off that much. So, third time, I get pissed at him. And I can tell he's pissed at me. He's annoyed at me. He's like, why the fuck are you here again? He didn't actually say it. It was just that kind of feeling in the room.
Yeah.
And so I go, why? Why? Why everything? Fuck it. Why everything? So when I came back, I devoted my time in jail and time in prison and time outside of those things to figure out why. And eventually I stumbled on the idea while I was playing The Sims one day. We're all Sims, and God is the plumb bob that occasionally will pop down to control us. Because I grew up Christian, even though I don't really believe in Christianity as such. I do believe in a creator of some sort. It's too ordered to be happenstance. It's too ordered to be chance. And so, from, God is playing The Sims to... I'm just kind of looking around, and I've always loved fractals. They're beautiful. I love them. They're mathematically perfect. And it started getting me on this whole thing about patterns, and seeing the patterns everywhere, and seeing how cyclical, but in such a weird, janky way that the world is. And that got me to fractal tapestry. We are all on the fractal tapestry. The fractal tapestry is the ordered chaos of how the world works. It's how humanity and the zeitgeist can do these cycles. Like all of these fads that keep coming back, all of these behaviors, all these wars, everything is this convoluted, pain in the ass fractal of behavior and pattern. And it's everywhere. And I can see tiny, tiny parts of it. And so when I make my predictions, and they're way more right than they really have any logical reason to be, it's the fractal tapestry. I can see just enough of it to make guesses every now and again.
Nice.
And my mom, as a parlor trick, kind of, sorta, at Halloween, she would crack an egg open and dump a little bit of red food dye in there and like swish it around and then dump it on something and read future from that. And It seemed like a stupid parlor trick, except she played it completely straight. She believed this shit. And so I'm wondering if maybe some of that passed down into me? I don't know.
I would believe
ask
that.
her about that.
I would believe that because on my mom's side, I have great-grandmothers who have some of the similar sensitivities that I do. So I would believe you probably got some from your mom.
Your mom's a Wiccan, which is a good witch. That wouldn't surprise me. She was... Well, that was a weird thing. That's the only occult thing she ever did. Like, everything else, biker, DMV worker, where she did manuals and stuff when she retired. The only other occult thing, kind of, sort of, was she was a huge Ozzy fan. When I got her the Osbournes on DVD, she bawled her eyes out because she got subtitles and so she could finally understand what Ozzy was saying. I don't know if you've ever seen that show or heard
Yes,
Ozzy.
I have.
He is impossible to parse. But yeah, the way I view it is, it is my religion, my spirituality, but it doesn't really preclude the existence of, a Christian god or a Buddhist god or,
Yeah.
Hindu gods or whatever. I didn't ask who, I asked why. And I was finally found out why. Fractals. Fractals are why. And so that's why my character has a fractal on him, and that's why fractals in my background and all that, all that predominating stuff is because the fractals explain everything. Our bodies are fractals, our circulatory system, our veins, leaves, it's in nature, it's everywhere. So, fractals, that explains human behavior. It's chaotic, except it isn't. And that's another thing about the whole losing weight thing and making major life changes. That is you going on a different track. If you look at fractals, you'll notice that there are all of these tines and all of these break-offs and all of these split paths. You can go on a different path. You can choose to be a better person, to go on a better path. It is not impossible. It's hard. It's inertia. It's hard to stop yourself from going on the same path you've been going on, but you can do it. That's how truly successful people do. They get these moments where they can and choose to do a different thing because the thing they're doing currently isn't working. Like the way I was dopamining myself with tendies and tater tots.
Yeah. But
and so that's what I want to give to people. I want to give them that hope that they can improve themselves if they choose to.
Exactly.
You have to choose to, and you have to put the work in. But if you keep putting the work in a little bit every day, because I started not being able to walk to the fucking Walgreens at 5 minutes away. Derek never lets me hear the end of it. How I was wheezing and gassed with not even a 5-minute walk. Now I can walk 12 miles a day if I need to. And I mean, on these lungs, that's not nothing. That's something.
And that's, I think that's one of the reasons why you and I kind of resonate so well is because, in a way that's what I've been trying to open up people's minds to as well, is just saying you can change, you can make a different choice, but you have to change your mind. And that is the most difficult thing for most people to do, is change your mind and change your thought pattern.
There's a humility to it too. You have to be able to say, I was wrong. And it is so fucking hard. Not even today. I mean, it's harder today because, echo chambers and reinforcement and enabling behavior and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, even in the old days, it is very difficult, psychologically speaking, to be able to step outside of yourself and go, this isn't working, I was wrong, I fucked up.
Basically.
And I've had to do that a few times because of, prison and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Prison is definitely a come to Jesus moment, relatively speaking.
Yes.
Where you have to look at yourself and go, is this a path I really want to continue going down? Do I really want to keep getting into bar fights and going to prison for nearly killing someone? No, I really don't. I need to control my maximum amount of anger a little better. Which is why you don't see me flipping out on stream anymore.
Yes. And I think you bring up an interesting point, and this is kind of what I've learned by being in the VTuber space for as long as I have been, is, yeah, I'm older than most people on this platform who are still in their teens and early 20s. And one thing I have noticed in a bunch of the young people that I've come in contact with is they're afraid of admitting when they're wrong. They're afraid of failing, and they're afraid of putting in the work to learn to do something better. And that's just been something that I've just really noticed and tried to say, it's okay if you make mistakes. That's part of life. You don't just come out of your mom's womb just perfect, knowing how to do everything. That's not how life works.
I think higher of somebody who has made mistakes, admits they've made mistakes, and actively tries to not make those mistakes than I do of somebody who has claimed to have never made a mistake.
I feel the same way.
I think there's an issue with people having too much self-pride, I say as I have pride tattooed on my hand, where they're afraid that they will lose face for admitting that they're wrong, when if you're a good enough friend of somebody and they admit that they're wrong, aren't you going to I mean, seriously, if your friend of a decade admits that they are wrong about something that they've been doing that you've been trying to tell them that they're wrong about, are you going to rub it in their face? Yes, you are a little bit. That's just what friends do. It's bants, whatever. Then you're going to try and help them to improve their lives.
Right.
Like budgeting, for example. If you're shit at budgeting, and you're in debt, and you finally come to the realization that you're in debt, and for example, you tell me about it, I'm gonna say, yeah, I've been telling you that for years. And then you go, yeah, but I really want to change. It's like, okay, let's look at how you can change, how you can fix your debt, how you can spend less, how you can save more, etc., etc. Oh, your friend will give you shit, sure, but then they'll try to help you because they're your friend. If it's just somebody giving you shit over and over, they weren't really your friend to begin with. They were just there to watch you burn. And hey, better you know than you don't, right?
Right. And I feel like it's the same way in all this, VTubing stuff. I would rather proudly say, yes, I've changed, yes, I've evolved, I've gotten more sophisticated in what I can do, but I'm still the same person, and that person is going to continue to make mistakes, and that's just the way life is. There's no such thing as a perfect stream, just like there's no such thing as a perfect art piece.
Exactly. Well, I mean, the art that I got from 34 isn't perfect, but it's close enough to perfect that I didn't mind paying the $100.
I mean, there you go.
There has to be. Otherwise, you'll drive yourself crazy. An amount of wiggle room, like 80% or 90% or however perfectionist you are. There has to be wiggle room. Otherwise, you'll drive yourself insane trying to get to that perfect 100%, which doesn't exist. It never existed.
Nope. And that's the thing too. Is like, I would rather have some things about me that are not perfect and continue going out in the world and doing things rather than being so afraid of being imperfect that I do absolutely nothing. And I know so many people like that who are so afraid of losing face that they won't even go out and do something because it won't be 100% perfect.
For me, it's the paralyzation of choice. That's been my biggest issue with streaming and other things like that is I have so many games I don't know what to play until I get into a mood like my Hades mood. But I mean, you're very right. People are afraid to fail, and that was when I asked a girl out for the first time and she said no. That was a really defining moment in my life because it showed me what's the worst thing that can happen. She says no, and you move on. It sucks, but keep going.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with exercising. Say you're fat. Say you run. Say it makes a flappy noise. I fucking hate my flappy noise. Someday I'm going to get rid of it. But it doesn't matter because you're still out there. You're still doing it. It doesn't matter if you look stupid. You're still doing it. I never give shit to people at the gym when they're like hyper obese, like super way too fat. Even if I know they're never going to come back after the first time because they're there, they're doing it. That's great. They should keep doing it. I don't care if you look fucking ridiculous. As long as you keep putting in the work. That's the important thing.
Right.
You're improving yourself. That you actually care enough about yourself to improve yourself. Let me see here.
And I think there's a difference to me between wanting self-improvement and expecting perfection. Yeah. And I think that's a big thing for me that I've noticed some of the younger generation, not all, but some of the younger generation, I feel like they don't understand the difference between wanting self-improvement and going on that journey and trying to chase perfection, which actually doesn't exist in that way. Hi, Dinosaur. Good to see you, dear. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion, is that if you're gonna be in competition with somebody, why not be in competition with yourself? It will always net some good improvements if you're gonna be competitive.
I have a happy visual that I've always had in my head about this sort of thing, and it's mountains. We are all given our mountain to climb. And some people are given really steep mountains, some people are given really small mountains. Some people can't climb their mountain properly because they're in a wheelchair. Some people can't climb because they're blind, what have you, all that shit. But the point is, we all have our mountains to climb, and I don't see a point in mocking or belittling someone because they're not quite as far up their mountain as we are, or they're having a harder time, or any of that shit. I think we should be celebrating the people as they make progress up their mountains. And if they make it to their peak before we do, we should congratulate them because they did it. Good for them.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be tearing other people down Because we got our own fucking mountains to climb. That means it's energy that we're wasting,
Right.
making fun of them when we could be climbing our mountain.
Right, and I would much rather see people climbing their mountain than a bunch of people in my life who sit at the bottom of their mountain,
Yeah, not even trying.
throwing a tantrum, crying, and saying it's over and done with, and they're trapped.
Well,
And,
you've heard the Teddy Roosevelt quote, right? The man in the arena.
I'm sure I have, but it's been a long time.
I will quote it. Where the fuck is that? That's not the quote. I will find it really quick.
And that's why I love you, Amayas, because I know you'll keep going,
Oh,
even when things get tough, you know. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of us with disabilities will never be able to be some idea of perfect, but I think we're perfect just the way we are. We're made to be exactly who we are.
Alright, I'll read it out loud too. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who, at the best, knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.
Nice. I love
That is
that
a-
quote.
That is a powerful fucking quote, and I've loved it for years and years.
Now that's something I might just get tattooed on me.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually. Get that tattooed in Braille on my back or something. I always wondered
Hell
why I would get
yeah!
that back tattoo.
That'd
I mean,
be
if this looks
amazing.
for all the other tattoos. That's a funny one. The tattoo I'm most proud of is the map tattoo. So we took a Google image of the map that we used to get up to where we moved from. I moved from Sacramento to Washington because fuck California, and it's serious an awful place. And we got shot at the night before we left. That's how bad
Wow.
it was. And I learned that I can apparently hit the deck very quickly, even when I was 400 pounds.
I want to
Holy
hear
fuck,
about
that's
that.
really
What in
nothing
the hell
nice.
would happen to make you get shot at?
I don't know, just random stray bullets, just ping,
Okay,
ping, burst
wow.
blast. Well, it's a good thing we're getting the fuck out of here. But anyway, the map, the route is just on my, it's got a square where we started. It's got the line. It's got the state lines from California to Oregon and Oregon to Washington, hashed off to show that, that's where we were. And then it's got the little marker that shows where we ended up. And that's my favorite tattoo because that is one of my great life achievements. I got the fuck out of California.
Yay. That is so cool. I love that.
I love all my tattoos.
I
The
love
thing is,
the story behind tattoos.
yeah, and that's exactly what I was gonna say. The thing about tattoos is you've got to really want to tell the stories. And every one of my tattoos, even the failure tattoo, I've got a tattoo up here that is completely fucked up because it was the first tattoo I ever got. Some random chick at college who turned out to transition into a dude, and boy, that was an awkward conversation a few years later. She's like, we get the tattoo, it completely falls to shit. It looks
Oh
awful.
no.
And well, I sent you the link to the Imgur. You'll see
Yes.
it. Yeah. And the guys, when I went and got the other one, the guy's like, "Hey, do you want me to cover up this other one?" I was like, "No, I've still got the story behind it. It's still a perfectly viable story tattoo. It looks like shit, and there's a reason it looks like shit." And then I call her a couple of years later, and it turns out she's a dude, and I am completely poleaxed. Like, I've never encountered a trans person before. I have no idea what to think or to do. He's like, "Yeah, okay, but can you fix my tattoo?" And oh, it was so awkward and bad. He got so pissed at me.
Oh no! Why?
I didn't even misgender him. I was like, I think it's because I called him by the old name. And that's how I knew the guy. The old name.
I'm sorry, but it's like I've actually had to come to the defense of a couple of my friends to just say they made a mistake. They haven't quite learned your new name yet. Just give them a
Calm
little
the fuck
grace
down.
period, would you?
I will give Sun credit. Sun actually renamed herself, like legally renamed herself. Because I was asking her, because it's like, Sun, if I'm gonna get a tattoo of you, I need to know your name. It's just if I'm gonna get ink done of you, it's the principle of the thing. She goes, no, I actually legally changed my name. It's like, well, fair play. Wait. You live in a bumpkin town. What do you do there? Do you just let them use your old name? Yes. Oh well, there you go. That's the thing I like about Sun. She knows that her community would not accept her, so she just makes allowances for the hillbillies. So it's like,
I guess so. Yeah, there you go.
And there's nothing wrong with that. If you know people are gonna make an issue out of it, if you know it's gonna be a big deal, there is nothing wrong with just letting them use the old names and stuff, because it's just easier. You got to get along to get along, kind of thing.
Yeah, and if you know that there are going to be limitations within certain communities, it makes more sense to accept some of those limitations to a point. Yes, I think definitely, like with parents and stuff, when you give them a lot of time to adjust, I definitely think that's like a different thing, and they're just like choosing not to acknowledge you, which is like a whole different thing.
My wife is eventually going to rename herself, and it's a full, like, first and last rename, and it's... I can't... Like, my brain can't do the connection until she legally changes it. Once it's legally changed, I'll be able to do it, but, like, I can't see her as anything else other than her name at the moment. But once that paperwork goes through, I'll be able to make the adjustment. It's weird as hell.
Well, but that's also kind of how the brain works, and yeah, Kali, I would say that's kind of has been my issue with, like, rebranding, at least in, like, the VTuber sense of people saying, well, like, oh, I'm this now. And it's like, well, but people bonded with you over who you were previously. It's why when I went through my updates, I was very, very careful to say, it's me still. I'm just growing up. I'm just evolving. It's still me, because I didn't want people to be like, hey, wait, weren't you, didn't you used to be Tiffy? It's like, no, I'm not gonna just change who I am. Come on now.
I used to be Blind Ryan, but I retired the nickname because after 20 years, a prison nickname is cringe. And finding a new nickname was a bitch and a half. I originally went with Mad Max, but I tried playing the game Mad Max, and it's inaccessible, like wholly inaccessible, and it pissed me off so much. I was like, God damn it, I'm gonna find a better name that doesn't have anything to do with that fucking game I can't play. So I came up with that. Biggest thing to get used to was the voice change. Didn't really take long listening to YouTube stuff. I mind.
Yeah, I know. My YouTube stuff is kind of fucked that way, because, still younger Tiffy with, like, the voice magic on. But
it honors my my good uncle Kali, because his name was Max, and the fact that it's a very Dwergar name, that part kind of happened by accident. But the whole reason I chose Angor instead of Anger is just much Angor, many rage, rawr.
I love it.
And so it just kind of fit. So I went with it. Okay, why not? But yeah, rebranding's a bit of a bitch. But it like, I don't hide that I used to be Blind Ryan. The other reason I didn't like the name is because I'm not actually blind. I'm legally blind, and there's a lot of bullshit from a lot of other people who try to use blind when they have better eyesight than I do. And it comes off as really disingenuous. Like, when I sit on the couch to look at the screen, it's fuzzy. Like, dude, I have to sit 3 inches away from the fucking screen to even be able to read anything. And there are people who don't have eyes. There's Blind Press. You would like her. She does OnlyFans stuff. She does Mortal Kombat 1 stuff. She's very disability positive. You would love her. And her Twitter is like @blindpress, but she's shadow banned, so you have to be careful about typing.
Yay, me too!
Yeah, I noticed that. If you tell her I sent you, you guys will get along great. Her face is a little jank looking, but anybody with blindness is gonna be jank looking. It just is what it is. You get used to it after a while. But she doesn't have eyes. she got measles or something when she was a kid, and she lost her fucking eyes.
Wow.
So she uses prosthetics, and boy, seeing her without prosthetics, that's a head fuck. I still say she ought to do like a Halloween kind of thing where she dresses up like a zombie and takes out the prosthetics.
Dress up like a zombie. There you go.
There you go.
Yes, Mia is my other good friend. She is also legally blind.
Yeah, there's a guy, Retrophile. I think he was linked on Sean's Handy-Capable Sean's stream, and he's legally blind too.
Handy-Capable, I hate that one.
I think he does too, which is why he uses it. But yeah, this Retrophile guy, I actually got him really good because his eyesight is just a hair better than mine. So I go, "Hey, sighted guy, how's it going?"
Nice.
I love it because how many legally blind people get to be the sighted one, unless you've actually gone to blind school?
Sweet.
Right? What in the fuck is this? Oh, Genshin Impact shit. Get out of here. Stupid one. I tried Genshin Impact, couldn't play it, but now they're sending me emails. An old boss had face cancer and reassuring. Yeah, it's condescending. It's like George Carlin said, it's crippled. It's a good, honest language. Jesus healed him, you know. Oh, what else is going on? I think we're about hitting to the point where we can get into Hades. I'll just need to take a bio break and then we can get right to it.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds
I
good.
can start my stream whenever. All I have to do is just turn the damn thing on.
Yeah, you
But
can
I
start.
wanted to.
You can start your stream now, and then that would leave me free to like Radia
Okay.
if you want.
I thought we'd wanted to play Hades together. We can do that.
Whatever you'd like to do, I'm game.
I'll play Hades with you. I don't mind. Just...
All right, then what I'm gonna do is go take a quick break, get some things set up, and we can definitely do that. And then you'll have to let me know when you start your stream so I can read you.
Oh, you'll know. Let me just go use the restroom real quick.